Welcome back to Deep Blue Tales, where we explore the most incredible true stories from the depths of our oceans. Today's story will take you to the darkest, most hostile environment on Earth, where the largest predator with teeth is hunting creatures we've barely seen. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our community of ocean lovers from around the world. Also, drop a comment telling us which city you're watching from. We love seeing how far our tales travel. And if this video leaves you speechless, give it a like and share it with someone who thinks they know what's happening in the deep ocean. In 1969, a dead sperm whale washed ashore in South Africa with something impossible in its stomach. When researchers cut it open, they found the remains of a giant squid, but not just any giant squid. This squid came from depths where sunlight never reaches, where the pressure would crush a human instantly, where the temperature hovers just above freezing. And here's the disturbing part. The squid showed signs of having put up a fight. The whale's stomach was scarred, its throat was damaged. This wasn't a peaceful meal. This was a battle in the abyss. For decades, we've known sperm whales dive deep. But we told ourselves a simple story. They go down, they hunt squid, they come back up. Easy, straightforward. Predator finds prey, end of story. Except that's not the story at all. We were wrong about almost everything. The depths they reach, the time they spend down there, the things they're actually doing in the darkness, and most shocking of all, the real reason they're diving isn't what we thought. Let me show you what's really happening 2 miles below the surface. What we thought we knew. The sperm whale is the largest toothed predator on Earth. Males can reach 60 feet long and weigh up to 45 tons, roughly the weight of 30 cars. They have the largest brain of any animal that's ever lived, weighing up to 20 pounds. And they're named for the spermaceti organ in their massive block-shaped heads, a waxy substance whalers once mistook for sperm. For over a century, the basic story was this: sperm whales are deep divers. They hunt giant squid. They dive to maybe 1,000 feet, grab their prey, and surface. We had some evidence of deeper dives, but we assumed those were rare extreme cases, anomalies. The textbook said they typically dive for about 30-40 minutes to depths around 400 meters, about 1,300 feet. Impressive for a mammal, sure, but nothing too extreme. We thought we understood the basic mechanics. Hold breath, swim down, hunt, swim up, breathe. Simple mammalian diving behavior, just scaled up to a larger animal. We were catastrophically wrong. And the truth is so much stranger, so much more extreme, and so much more terrifying than anyone imagined. The first crack. They go much deeper. In the 1990s, researchers started attaching depth recording tags to sperm whales. These tags could track exactly how deep the whales went and for how long. When they retrieved the first tags and downloaded the data, scientists thought the equipment had malfunctioned. The tags showed dives to 2,000 meters, 2,250 meters, over 6,500 feet deep. That's deeper than the Grand Canyon is tall. That's 1.4 miles straight down into crushing darkness. And these weren't rare extreme dives. These were regular, routine, daily occurrence. One tagged whale recorded a dive to 2,035 meters, 6,676 feet. But here's the truly disturbing part. Researchers believe they go even deeper than that. How do we know? Because we found things in their stomachs that only live at depths exceeding 3,000 meters, nearly 10,000 feet. Species of squid that inhabit zones we've barely explored. Creatures from the abyssal plane. That means sperm whales are regularly diving deeper than nuclear submarines, deeper than the Titanic wreck, into pressures exceeding 300 atmospheres, 300 times the air pressure at sea level. Pressure that would instantly crush a human, that would collapse a car like a soda can, that would rupture every airspace in your body before you even realized what was happening. And they're doing this dozens of times per day, every single day of their lives. The time problem. But depth is only part of the story. The tags revealed something even more shocking: how long they're staying down there. Average dive duration? Not 30-40 minutes like we thought. Try 45 to 60 minutes. And that's the average. Individual dives regularly exceed 60 minutes. The longest recorded dive, 138 minutes. That's 2 hours and 18 minutes. 2 hours without breathing. 2 hours in the crushing darkness of the deep ocean. Think about that for a moment. Hold your breath right now. Most people can't make it past 60 seconds. Free divers, trained athletes who dedicate their lives to breath holding, max out around 10-11 minutes under perfect conditions. And they're not swimming, not hunting, not fighting for their lives against giant squid in the darkness. Sperm whales are doing all of that while holding their breath for over 2 hours. How is that even possible? What kind of biological adaptation allows a mammal, an air-breathing creature like us, to function without oxygen for that long while performing one of the most physically demanding activities imaginable? The biology that shouldn't work. Here's where it gets truly alien. Sperm whales have rewritten the rules of mammalian physiology. First, myoglobin. This is a protein that stores oxygen in muscle tissue. Humans have it. All mammals have it. But sperm whales have evolved muscle tissue so densely packed with myoglobin that their muscles are literally dark red, almost black. They have more oxygen storing capacity in their muscles than we have in our entire bodies, blood included. When a sperm whale dives, it's not relying on the oxygen in its lungs. It's relying on massive oxygen reserves stored in muscle tissue throughout its body. Its muscles are living oxygen tanks. Second, their circulatory system shuts down everything non-essential. Blood flow is redirected away from skin, digestive organs, even parts of the brain. Only the heart, primary brain functions, and swimming muscles continue receiving fresh oxygen. Everything else goes into a state of suspended animation, surviving on anaerobic metabolism, functioning without oxygen like your muscles do during extreme exercise, but sustained for over an hour. Third, their heart rate plummets. At the surface, a sperm whale's heart beats maybe 20-30 times per minute. During a deep dive, it drops to 3 to 4 beats per minute. Their entire metabolism downshifts into an ultra-low energy mode that would put a hibernating bear to shame. And fourth, and this is the part that sounds like science fiction, the spermaceti organ in their head isn't just for echolocation. It's a buoyancy control system. That massive block-shaped head that makes up 1/3 of a sperm whale's body length, it's filled with up to 500 gallons of waxy oil, and that oil changes density based on temperature. Before diving, cold water flows through passages around the spermaceti organ, cooling the wax, making it solidify slightly and become denser. This generates downward force, about 392 newtons or 88 pounds of downward pull. That doesn't sound like much for a 45-ton animal, but it means the whale can descend without having to actively swim downward. It can essentially sink with minimal energy expenditure, conserving oxygen for the hunt. When it needs to return to the surface, warm blood flows back into the organ, heating the wax, making it less dense, and the whale becomes more buoyant. They're using their own heads as biological ballast tanks. It's like something out of a science fiction novel, except it's real, it evolved naturally. And we didn't even fully understand it until the 21st century, what they're actually hunting. Okay, so we established they're diving deeper and longer than we thought, with biology that seems impossible. But we were still clinging to the simple story. They're hunting giant squid. That's the reason. That's the answer. Right? Wrong again. Giant squid is only part of the menu, and depending on the location and the individual whale, it might not even be the primary target. Researchers analyzing sperm whale dive behavior identified something shocking. Different whales hunt at completely different depths using completely different strategies. Some whales consistently dive to 400-800 meters and spend most of their bottom time there. Others dive to 800-200 meters, and a third group regularly goes deeper than 200 meters, nearly 4,000 feet. This isn't random variation, this is specialized hunting behavior. Different whales are targeting different prey species that live at different depths. Some are hunting medium-sized squid in the mesopelagic zone. Others are targeting larger prey in the bathypelagic zone. And some are going all the way down to the abyssal zone to hunt the truly massive deep-sea squid species we've barely studied. Analysis of stomach contents from dead whales has revealed over 30 different species of squid and octopus. Giant squid, colossal squid, Dana octopus squid, robust club hook squid, species ranging from a few pounds to over 1,000 pounds, and that's just what we've been able to identify from partially digested remains. But here's the truly disturbing discovery. Sperm whales aren't just passively hunting. They're using one of the most sophisticated predation systems in the animal kingdom. The echolocation weapon sperm whales hunt in absolute darkness. At 2,000 meters deep, there is zero sunlight. None. It's darker than the darkest night you've ever experienced. It's darkness so complete that the concept of vision becomes meaningless. So how do you hunt massive, fast-moving squid in total darkness? You use sound. Specifically, you use the loudest biological sound on Earth. Sperm whale clicks, the echolocation pulses they produce, reach volumes of 230 decibels. That's louder than a jet engine at takeoff. That's louder than a gunshot. In water, where sound travels 4 times faster than in air, and with much greater efficiency, these clicks can be detected over 10 miles away. But it's not just volume, it's precision. Sperm whales can adjust the interpulse interval of their clicks, the timing between each pulse, to scan different depths and ranges. They're essentially using adjustable sonar, focusing their acoustic beam to search specific portions of the water column without wasting energy clicking at the wrong frequency. When they detect prey, the click pattern changes. It becomes a buzz, a rapid series of clicks fired in quick succession. This is the acoustic equivalent of a targeting laser. The whale is getting precise real-time location data on a moving target in 3-dimensional space, in absolute darkness, while swimming at speed. And then they attack. We don't know exactly how they capture prey. We've never witnessed it directly, because it happens too deep, too dark, too fast. But we know from recovered squid remains that sperm whales can bite with tremendous force. We know from scarring on whales that their prey fights back violently. And we know from dive data that the actual capture attempt, the buzz and the kill, happens in seconds. Imagine being a giant squid, living your life in the safety of the deep ocean where almost nothing can reach you. And then you hear a sound, a loud rhythmic clicking getting closer, getting louder, and suddenly it's right behind you, moving faster than you can escape, and before you can react, you're being crushed by teeth the size of your arm. That's what sperm whales do, dozens of times per day, for their entire lives. The seafloor mystery. But we're still not at the real reason, the truly mind-blowing revelation. Because in 2016, researchers discovered something that changed everything we thought we understood. Some sperm whales dive all the way to the seafloor, not to depths where the seafloor happens to be shallow, to the actual bottom, in areas where the seafloor is 1,400 plus meters deep. They descend through the entire water column, reach the bottom, and then do something we didn't think they did. They hunt along the seafloor itself. Analysis of dive data showed whales positioning themselves within 400 meters of the bottom, sometimes touching it directly. And in several documented cases, tagged whales dove deeper than the reported seafloor depth at their location, meaning they were either in trenches and canyons our bathymetric maps missed, or they were diving into the substrate itself, possibly pursuing prey into the mud. Why would a whale do this? Squid are mid-water creatures. They swim freely through the ocean. Why would a sperm whale expend enormous energy to reach the absolute bottom of the ocean to hunt? The answer is chilling, because that's where the biggest prey hides. The prey we didn't know existed: colossal squid, the largest invertebrates on Earth, weighing up to 1,500 pounds, armed with rotating hooks instead of suction cups. And they live almost exclusively near the Antarctic seafloor at depths exceeding 2,000 meters. These are not the graceful open ocean hunters like giant squid. Colossal squid are ambush predators. They hover near the bottom in the darkness, waiting. When prey passes, they strike with overwhelming power. They're built like tanks, short, thick, packed with muscle, and they're the sperm whale's ultimate target. The scars on sperm whales tell the story. Circular scars from colossal squid suction cups, linear scars from their rotating hooks. Some whales have hundreds of these scars covering their heads and bodies. Some scars are over a foot in diameter, meaning they came from squid with tentacles thicker than a human thigh. These aren't easy kills. These aren't passive prey. These are battles between titans, 45-ton mammals, versus half-ton mollusks with beaks that can shear through steel cable, fighting in pitch darkness under crushing pressure. And the whales are winning, but not without cost. Researchers have found sperm whales with squid beaks embedded in their flesh, unable to be dislodged. Whales with damaged eyes, possibly from squid attacks. Whales with deformed jaws from impacts with struggling prey. One whale was found with a 30-foot giant squid tentacle still wrapped around its jaw, suggesting the whale died during the fight. This isn't the peaceful, simple predation story we imagined. This is warfare, and it's happening in the deepest, darkest, most hostile environment on Earth. But here's the real reason. We've established that sperm whales dive to crushing depths for extended periods, using impossible biology to hunt massive, dangerous prey. That's the story, right? Extreme hunting behavior driven by an available food source that other predators can't reach. Case closed. Except we're still missing the most important piece. The piece that researchers only recently discovered. The piece that changes everything. Ready? Here it is. Sperm whales dive that deep not just because of what's down there, but because of what's not down there. Predators. Specifically, killer whales. Let me explain. Killer whales, orcas, are the apex predators of the ocean. They hunt everything. Seals, sharks, even other whales. And sperm whales are on the menu. Orcas target sperm whale calves and juveniles, hunting them in coordinated packs with brutal efficiency. Adult male sperm whales are usually safe from orcas due to their enormous size, but females and young whales are vulnerable. And here's the critical fact. Orcas can't dive deep. Their maximum dive depth is around 250-300 meters, less than 1,000 feet. Beyond that depth, orcas can't follow. Now look at the sperm whale dive data again with this knowledge. Sperm whales regularly dive below 400 meters. They spend the majority of their time at depths exceeding 600 meters. And when they do hunt in shallower waters, they spend significantly less time there, returning to depth as quickly as possible. They're not just hunting, they're hiding. The deep ocean isn't their hunting ground, it's their refuge. It's the only place in the ocean where a 45-ton whale can feel safe. Think about the implications. Sperm whales have evolved the most extreme diving physiology of any mammal on Earth, not primarily to access food, but to escape predation. They've turned the most hostile, dangerous, impossible-to-survive environment on the planet into a sanctuary. They've made the crushing darkness their home because it's the only place where killer whales can't reach them. And it goes deeper. Pun intended. Research shows that female sperm whales with calves dive even deeper and stay down even longer than solitary whales. They're not doing this for better hunting. They're doing it to protect their young. They're taking their vulnerable calves down to depths that would kill most marine mammals, exposing them to extreme pressure and extended oxygen deprivation, because it's still safer than staying near the surface where orcas hunt. The entire architecture of sperm whale society, their diving behavior, their pod structure, their distribution across ocean basins, is shaped by the threat of killer whale predation. They've essentially been driven into the abyss by the only predator they fear, the social complexity. We missed this revelation opened researchers' eyes to something else we'd been missing, the sophisticated social coordination required to survive this way. Sperm whales don't dive randomly, they coordinate. Female-led pods, the core social units, often dive in synchronized patterns. Some individuals dive deep, while others remain at shallower depths with calves. They rotate, they take turns. They're organizing their diving behavior to maximize protection while minimizing risk to young whales who can't dive as deep or hold their breath as long. And they're communicating the entire time. Those clicks aren't just for echolocation, they're for social contact. Sperm whales maintain acoustic contact with pod members even when separated by thousands of meters of depth and miles of horizontal distance. They're essentially calling out to each other, "I'm here, I'm okay. I'm coming back up." Different sperm whale pods have different click patterns, what researchers call dialects. These dialects function like accents or languages, allowing whales to identify pod members versus strangers based purely on sound. And these dialects are passed down through generations. Cultural transmission, teaching, language. We're not just looking at individual animals with impressive diving abilities. We're looking at complex multi-generational societies with culture, communication systems, and coordinated defense strategies against predation. And all of it is organized around the central challenge of surviving in an ocean where the safest place is 2 miles down in crushing darkness. The energy cost is staggering. Let's talk about what this lifestyle costs. A single deep dive burns approximately 5,000–7,000 calories. Sperm whales typically perform 15–25 dives per day. That's 75,000 to 175,000 calories per day, just for diving. Not including basal metabolism, not including social behavior, not including traveling between hunting grounds. To maintain this energy expenditure, sperm whales need to consume approximately 3% of their body weight in food every single day. For a 45-ton whale, that's 1,350 kilograms, nearly 3,000 pounds of squid per day, every single day. And they can't just eat continuously. Remember, they're holding their breath. They hunt for 45–60 minutes, then they have to return to the surface to breathe. During ascent and surface intervals, they're not hunting. They're recovering. Their muscles are clearing lactic acid. Their blood is reoxygenating. Their metabolism is normalizing. Surface intervals between dives last 8 to 10 minutes on average. That's how long it takes a sperm whale to recover enough to dive again. 8 minutes to prepare for another hour in the abyss. And during those 8 minutes, they're vulnerable. That's when orcas attack, so sperm whales are trapped in a brutal cycle. They must dive deep to avoid predators. Deep diving requires massive energy expenditure. Energy expenditure requires massive food intake. Food is at depth. To get food, they must dive repeatedly. Repeated diving requires surface intervals. Surface intervals expose them to predators. To avoid predators, they must dive deep. It's an exhausting, unrelenting lifestyle that never stops. From the day they're born until the day they die, sperm whales are locked into this pattern. Dive, hunt, surface, breathe, dive again, over and over, dozens of times per day, every single day, for decades. The males are different. Here's another twist. Male sperm whales don't follow the same patterns as females. Adult males leave their birth pods around age 10 and head toward polar regions, both Arctic and Antarctic waters. They dive even deeper than females, stay down even longer and hunt even larger prey. The deepest recorded dives? Males. The longest breath holds? Males. The most scarred bodies from colossal squid battles? Males. Why? Because males are large enough that orcas don't pose a significant threat. A fully grown male sperm whale is simply too big for an orca pod to take down. So males aren't driven into the deep by predation pressure. They're there by choice, hunting the largest prey available. But females and juveniles, they're still trapped in the cycle, still hiding in the darkness, still organizing their entire lives around the threat of killer whales that might be hunting near the surface. This creates a strange dichotomy in sperm whale society. Males are essentially lone wanderers, diving to extreme depths in polar regions where the largest squid live, occasionally returning to tropical waters to mate with female pods. Females form tight-knit multi-generational societies that stay together for life, coordinating their diving to protect calves and maintain social bonds. Two different strategies, two different lifestyles, same species, all shaped by the physics of diving and the threat of predation. What we still don't know. Even after decades of research, after thousands of hours of dive data, after countless tagged whales and recovered specimens, we still have massive gaps in our understanding. We don't know how deep they can actually go. The deepest recorded dive is 2,035 meters, but stomach contents suggest they reach 3,000 plus meters. What's stopping us from recording these deeper dives? Either the whales aren't diving that deep as frequently, or our tags are detaching before they do, or the pressure at those depths is damaging the recording equipment. We don't know their maximum breath hold capacity. The longest recorded dive is 138 minutes, but that was one individual in one situation. Could they go longer if they needed to? What's the physiological limit? We don't know. We don't know how they find specific prey species in the darkness. Yes, they use echolocation. But how do they distinguish between a 50-pound squid and a 1,000-pound squid using only sound? How do they decide which target to pursue? Are they using size estimation algorithms in their massive brains? We don't know. We don't know what happens during the actual attack. We've never witnessed a sperm whale capturing a colossal squid at depth. We know it happens. The scars and stomach contents prove it. But the details of the hunt remain a complete mystery. How long does the fight last? How many attacks does it take? Do they ever fail? Do they ever get injured badly enough to retreat? We simply don't know. And most disturbing of all, we don't know what else lives down there that sperm whales encounter. Every year, new species of deep-sea squid and octopus are discovered. Every year, we find creatures we didn't know existed. Sperm whales are diving into these depths daily, encountering this ecosystem routinely. What are they seeing that we've never recorded? What organisms exist down there that are known only to sperm whales? The climate change factor. Here's where the story gets even darker. Climate change is warming the ocean. And warming isn't uniform. Surface waters are warming faster than deep waters. This is creating stronger temperature stratification, which affects where squid live. Some squid species are moving deeper to escape warming surface waters, which means sperm whales have to dive deeper to catch them, which increases energy expenditure, which requires more food intake, which requires more dives. It's a vicious cycle that climate change is accelerating. At the same time, ocean acidification is affecting squid populations. Many squid species are declining, which means less food available, which means sperm whales have to spend more time hunting to get the same caloric intake, which increases their vulnerability to orca predation during surface intervals. We're changing the ocean in ways that directly impact the most extreme diving behavior on Earth. And we don't know what the consequences will be. Will sperm whales adapt? Will they dive even deeper? Will populations decline because the energy costs become unsustainable? We're running an uncontrolled experiment on the largest toothed predator on Earth, and we won't know the results for decades. What this means. So let's bring it all together. Sperm whales dive to depths exceeding 6,000 feet, potentially reaching 10,000 feet, for durations exceeding 2 hours, using physiological adaptations that border on science fiction to hunt massive, dangerous prey in absolute darkness under crushing pressure. But they're not doing it just for food, they're doing it because the deep ocean is the only refuge from killer whales. They've turned the most hostile environment on Earth into a sanctuary. They've evolved to survive in conditions that would kill almost any other mammal. And they're coordinating this behavior socially, culturally, across multiple generations. They're raising their calves in the darkness, teaching them to hold their breath, teaching them to hunt in conditions where vision is meaningless, teaching them the click dialects of their pod, teaching them to coordinate dives with their family members. And they're doing all of this while constantly burning massive calories, constantly fighting giant squid, constantly risking decompression injuries and pressure trauma and drowning. It's not just impressive, it's not just extreme, it's borderline impossible. And yet they do it every single day because the alternative, staying near the surface where killer whales hunt, is more dangerous than diving into the crushing darkness of the abyss. We thought we understood sperm whales. We thought they were just really good divers who liked to eat squid. We were wrong. They're refugees. They're exiles from the sunlit ocean, driven into the darkness by the only predator they fear, surviving through the most extreme physiological adaptations in the mammalian world. The real reason sperm whales dive 10,000 feet deep, because everywhere shallower, something is trying to kill them. Which of these revelations shocked you the most? Was it the depths they actually reach? The 2-hour breath holds? The biological ballast tank in their heads? The fact that they're fleeing from killer whales? Or the realization that we still don't know what else they encounter down there in the darkness? Let me know in the comments below. And if this changed how you think about sperm whales, about predation, about survival in the deep ocean, make sure you subscribe because we're going to keep diving into the alien world beneath the waves. Share this with someone who thinks they understand the ocean. Thanks for watching, and remember, the deeper you look, the stranger it gets, and the more you realize how little we actually know.